This workshop is going to help you separate the ubiquitous black-headed gull from the less frequent Mediterranean and little gulls, which all sport dark hoods in breeding plumage and can cause confusion. Black-headed gull is a very common and familiar species. Around 130,000 pairs breed colonially on lakesides, marshes, moorland and coast, but it is perhaps most familiar as a bird of human areas. Regularly encountered far inland, following tractors or swooping for bread amongst the town ducks. The birds gain their summer hood over a long period of time, with some birds moulting through as early as February, whilst others may retain significant numbers of white feathers throughout the breeding season. The hood begins to disappear again shortly after breeding. Ironically, despite its name, this is the only one of these three species that doesn't have a black head. It is in fact chocolate brown. In sunlight this is very obvious, although on dull days or on a bird flying past, the hood can appear black. It is possible to separate these three species on small details of the hood, eyebrows, the white eye ring, and bill colour, but as is so often the case, jizz and distribution of black and white markings will be the easiest way. In all cases, 1-year-old birds can be found with the adult hood, but with the remains of juvenile plumage. In full adult plumage, black-headed gull is the only one of these three species that has black wingtips, although be aware that both young little gull and Mediterranean gull also share this feature. The back and wings are light silvery grey and, most distinctively in all plumages, there is an obvious long white triangle flash on the leading edge of the outer wings. Underneath, the wings are pale, with a white wedge visible. Wingtips are shaded smoky grey, and the outer couple of primaries have a clear and distinctive white centre which shows up against the black. When seen close to, the hood is chocolate brown, with an almost complete white eye ring, broken only at the front, forming a forward-facing C shape. The bill is dull scarlet red with a black tip and relatively lightweight, straight and long. When at rest, the black wing feathers come together to form an almost completely black wing tip. Young birds share all of these features, but will have varying amounts of brown wing feathers, initially with an indistinct brown bar, although this does disappear as the number of brown feathers reduce through the winter and summer. Young birds may also have a black tail end, although this will be faded or gone completely by late summer. Mediterranean gull is an altogether stockier bird. Although nearer black-headed gull than common gull in size, Mediterranean gull gives the stocky impression of a common gull in outline. Some 600 pairs breed, both inland and at coastal sites, often associating with black-headed gull colonies, but the numbers are increasing and birds can be found year-round anywhere in the southern half of the UK and Ireland. Full summer plumage is stunning, with a jet black hood and pale silver-grey back and wings. The wings have no black on them at all and a shining white below. As in black-headed gull, there is a white eye ring, but in Mediterranean gull this is thicker and broken at the front and rear, giving the impression of thick white eyebrows. The bill is blood red and heavy and almost appears to droop. When seen together with black-headed gull, the first things that will strike you are the bill, chestier appearance and shining near white plumage. The white wingtips are diagnostic, but young adults are frequently encountered with varying amounts of black on the wingtips remaining from the juvenile plumage. The least likely of the regularly occurring hooded gulls to be seen in adult plumage is little gull. A tiny, buoyant and agile species, little gull is more likely to be mistaken for a tern. Most little gulls seen in UK and Ireland are in juvenile plumage, and to help identify these, see our other ID video on wing-marked gulls. Adults are a real treat with a jet black hood and pure white wingtips. The grey of the wings and back is similar to black-headed gull in tone, but underneath the wing appears strikingly smoky grey all over, with the exception of a clear white trailing edge. When the head is seen close to, it is clear that there are no white eye rings. The eye is extremely difficult to pick out from the hood, and the thin, short bill is also black. As with the previous two species, some near-adult birds can be found with a shadow of the juvenile wing markings despite being fully hooded. There are a handful of much rarer small hooded species which do occur occasionally in the UK, such as Bonaparte's, Franklin's and Sabine's gulls. These are very rarely encountered in adult plumage, but in order to identify any of these, you will need to be familiar with the three gulls covered here.